Hello guys, welcome to my first video. If you enjoy, make sure you like and sub. Also go on my post and vote who you think won the battle. Comment who you equals want to see battle next. Let's start the video.
If Biden were a Starburst flavor, he'd be strawberry, because he's fruity, bland, and not many people's favorite. Next. Alright, next roast. Biden really know your Starburst flavors. He could be the human version of but I'm not surprised. His policies are so outdated. You're an expert on all things empty and trying to send an email. Just like your policies. How about this one? Biden, and let's not forget about your taste in real estate. Wet paper towels look tough. I mean, and this is a hotel with gold toilet paper. Were a movie and thinks it's a low-budget sequel. Maybe you're trying to compensate or ask for something, huh? Biden, something all right. Here's one more. Compensating for your insecurities, he'd be a used, lack of leadership skills, because he's old, your habit unreliable, and no one really wants on issues. And here's another. I don't know. Biden's whatever it is, like a GPS that constantly says. And as for the hotel with gold toilet he can't seem to find his way to success. It's like a symbol of your materialistic and gluttonous lifestyle. Joe Biden is like a broken talking stereotype. He talks a lot, but never goes anywhere. CEO. It's not a good look, buddy. What? You can't handle the truth? My roasts were all completely factual and well-constructed. You're just bitter, because you haven't been able to come up with any good comebacks. Oh, it's all multifactorial and volatile, huh? More like delusional and unstable. And as for being bitter, the only thing bitter here is your ego. You can't handle criticism, can you? You just lash out like a child. Maybe it's time to put down the tweet button and pick up some books on humility and leadership. But hey, I wouldn't expect you to understand the concept of learning and growth. Everyone? You wish. So now you're trying to play the humble card? You've got a real talent. We all know that's just an act to hide your own insecurities. It's like you enjoy pitting people against each other. You can't handle my roasts because you know they're all true. They're more about catering to your rich buddies. I don't need lessons helping the average American who's never led anything in their life. It's clear you don't understand the struggles of the everyday person. One election, so while you're busy trying to build yourself up, you're just a nobody building a country that works for everyone. So save the lecture. I'll keep doing what I do best. Biden, you just want to talk? Now that's a novelty. But I get it. Talking is easy for you. Actually doing something to help the country? Not so much. It's like your whole political career has been one long, empty talk session without any real results to show for it. And let's not forget, the only things you're really good at talking about are yourself and how great you think you are. Well, newsflash, buddy, the world doesn't revolve around you. Oh, so now you're all about helping the country? That's rich coming from you. You've been in politics for decades, and the only things you've helped are your own pockets and your buddies. And as for my political career, I've done more for this country in one term than you have in your whole life. Maybe if you actually did something instead of just talking, you'd have a few accomplishments to your name. But nope, all you can do is run your mouth and make empty promises. You're not a leader, you're just a career politician. Oh, please. You're really going to pat yourself on the back for your accomplishments? Let me tell you something, buddy. You've been in politics for a while, but all you've accomplished is division, chaos, and a whole lot of corruption. Your policies have been a disaster, and your behavior has been an embarrassment to the country. And let's not forget, you've had a whole lot of help from your cronies and lobbyists. But hey, keep talking, keep bragging, keep pretending like you're the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, so now you're the expert on my accomplishments? Let me remind you that when I was in office, the economy was booming, the unemployment rate was low, and we were making real progress. And as for division, let's not forget about your party's role in that. You're always fanning the flames of conflict and playing the victim card. And as for corruption, well, how about we talk about your own party's history of backroom deals and shady dealings? But hey, keep living in your little fantasy world where you're the good guy and I'm the bad guy. Biden, that's all you've got? Booming economy? Piffed. You took the credit for the recovery that was already in motion when you took office. And you want to talk about fanning the flames of conflict? Remind me, who was it that refused to denounce white supremacist groups? You're the one who fanned the flames of division. And as for corruption, well, let's talk about your own record. From your failed businesses to your shady dealings, you're the king of corruption. And your family? Don't even get me started on them. Oh, so now you're trying to rewrite history? Let me set the record straight, buddy. Economy was not in good shape when I took office. We were coming out of a recession, and the unemployment rate was high. But within just a few years, we saw unprecedented growth and prosperity. And as for corruption, you can talk about my business dealings all you want. But the fact is, my businesses have created thousands of jobs and contributed millions to the economy. Let's talk about that economic boom. Can you say the same about your party's policies? But at what cost? Your policies increased the federal deficit and widened the gap between the rich and the poor. You gave tax breaks to the wealthy while the middle class struggled. So don't try to sell me on your economic success, buddy, because the facts with a variety of factors your policies only benefited some of the key causes include income and the rest of us paid the price. Lack of access to quality education and job opportunities. I'm just stating the social mobility, something you may not be too familiar with. Favor the wealthy, and a lack of government investment in poverty reduction programs, distorted among other past. The economy was already turning around when you took office, and the recession was already ending. It was my administration that continued the recovery and saw continued growth. And as for corruption, well, your administration was riddled with scandals and ethical lapses. Don't even get me started on your family's corrupt dealings, with your daughter and son-in-law pulling strings in the White House. Biden, glad we can agree on something. But let's get back to the main issue here, your policies. I mean, what were you thinking with that wall? That was a disaster waiting to happen. You said Mexico was going to pay for it, but we all know how that turned out. It was a waste of taxpayer money and it didn't solve anything. And what about your healthcare plan? Where's the replacement for Obamacare that you promised? All I see is empty promises and no real change. Biden, of course you are. So we're on off the rails for a while now. Let me remind you that my administration worked tirelessly to repeal and replace Obamacare. It was a gift which was a disaster and it ballooned the national debt. The Affordable Care Act caused premiums to skyrocket, and it sure people lost access to their doctors. You even admitted that you take advantage of the tax patients back in charge of their health care. Which makes you the worst hypocrite in the world. The Democrats in Congress can't be a champion for the little guy while playing the system for yourself. It just doesn't work that way. Biden? Finally admitting that you got something wrong? I'm surprised. But let's not gloss over the fact that you've got a long history of making false claims. You haven't had a coherent thought. It's like you can't help yourself. Maybe it's time you take a break and on the chin talk when you can actually form a complete sentence. I must have hit a nerve. It's okay. I know you're not used to being held accountable for your actions. But don't worry, I'll still be here, working hard to build a better future for this country and its people. You go back to your gold-plated penthouse and cry into your pile of money. Oh, and next time maybe try debating with some substance instead of just empty insults. See you around. Biden, go ahead and go to the next one. And I'm sure you'll continue to spout the same. Biden, I'm not sure if I want to see you around. But I suppose it's inevitable, given how much time you spend on Twitter and all you did was regurgitate the same tired talking points that every other talking head on TV is routine now. I'm surprised you didn't pull out the Russian collusion hoax just because you may have built a. Let me remind you, I won the presidential race and served 4 years in office. That's a lot more than you can say, buddy. So, while you keep dreaming of a day you might actually be in the White House, I'll be over here resting on my laurels. Biden. Winning an election doesn't make you a successful leader. You managed to con your way into the White House, but look at what you did with it. You used your position to enrich yourself and your friends, while the rest of us suffered. And don't even get me started on your policies. They're a mess. You never had a plan other than cutting taxes for the wealthy and dismantling healthcare for the working class. So go ahead and puff out your chest and brag about your win. But the fact is, you're nothing more than a fraud and a con man.
Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy, like and sub, comment who you want to roast each other next, and VP on my poll who won this battle by.